Hi everyone, I'm Lou. Welcome to my Imaginarium. Today we are going to make a character together. So, this character is for the RPG role-playing game Ecryme. It is set in a steampunk universe. And in this universe, the Ecryme, so it's a red mist, which is very corrosive, and it's acid, basically acid. And this acid has covered the whole world, except for a few cities and the bridges built between them. Since it's a steampunk universe and technology is booming, there's a small item of technology everywhere. Not like smartphone or everything, or anything, but like zeppelins, anything that's mechanicals. And so, as a zeppelin, we are going to play an engineer on the zeppelin. Elizabeth was a model girl, very calm and level-headed, and very fond of her brother and sister. One day, their father, a stern man, decided that it was time for her brother to behave like a man and not like a child, so he took him under his wing, and the two sisters saw him only at family meals, always taken in silence. Shortly before her 12th birthday, Elizabeth was introduced to her fiancé, a wealthy man who had already had several wives, some of whom had died in very strange circumstances. Elizabeth was deeply disgusted by this man 3 times her age who looked at her greedily. But what could she do? She had to obey her father, as she had been taught, and soon she would also have to obey her husband. One day, when she was out with her mother ordering new clothes for her trousseau, the wheel of the carriage in which they were riding broke in front of the Zeppelin harbour. Her mother, too busy yelling at the coachman, let her attention wander, and Elizabeth looked at the mountain of parcels in the back of the carriage, and then at the life of the harbour unfolding before her eyes. All its people free of their destiny, making her feel her own inability to change her own. She didn't want to marry that disgusting man. She wanted to find her brother and sister and play with them again. She wanted to have the choice of what her life would become. She wanted to see the rest of the world too before she was locked into this marriage of convenience from which she would probably not come out alive. So, she made the biggest decision of her life. She decided to run away. She plunged into the crowd of people too busy doing their own thing to notice the little girl in the meringue dress running towards the nearest zeppelin. Without thinking, she ran down the gangway and corridor of the ship, down a staircase, and into a hot, dark, dry room full of huge, fascinating gears. She hid behind a pile of coal and lulled to sleep by the warmth and quiet of the gears. When she woke up, the humming had become deafening, and an elderly man stood before her looking surprised and questioning. They stared at each other in silence, stunned. "That's just my luck, eh? A stowaway," muttered the old man. "Well, come on. You'll pay for your passage. Take the case here and follow me." He turned his back on her and walked towards the largest of the machine, an assembly of impressive pistons and cogs. He turned around. Elizabeth had not moved. "Well then, you stupid girl. Don't you understand what we're saying to you?" She gasped, then stood up, lifted the case with great difficulty, and joined the old man. It's not that complicated. You do what I tell you, and if you do well, carefully, I'll speak to the captain for you. Capiche?" Elizabeth nodded shyly, impressed by the old man's authority. They worked all day, and when it was well into the night, the man took her to the captain's cabin, a modestly sized but tastefully furnished room, the night sky moving past a window. The man was hunched over a desk with a large map on it. He turned as they entered. "Mordecai, is there a problem in the engine room?" Then he turned to the girl, and his eyes widened with surprise. "A stowaway, Captain." Elizabeth told him her whole story, point by point. The captain's surprised expression widened further when she gave her name and her father's name. He sat up when he learned who her fiancé was, and at the end of the story he asked, "Do you have anyone to turn to when we get there?" She shook her head no. "Do you have any idea what would happen to all of us if you were discovered on this ship?" He sighed. "Well, if you work hard, make yourself small, and don't get off this ship for 3 years until they think you're dead, you can stay. You also need a new name, one that's easier to live with. Lizzy Tanner, okay? Lizzy Tanner is not of high ancestry. Lizzy is Grandpa Mordecai's great-niece, and she worked with him because her parents died of illness. Elizabeth Culto died today, understand?" Lizzy worked for 3 years without ever stepping off the ship. She soon understood the logic behind the powerful workings of the machine. Her work left her little time to think about the past, and she loved being Lizzy for the freedom she had to work as she pleased and to be whoever she wanted. She nicknamed the old man Grandpa Apple because it was his favorite luxury, and she offered him some whenever she could get it on the black markets. As fugitive, she had gained an innate sense of discretion, so for some years she dealt with commercial matters in which the Captain Thatch could not get his reputation involved, a delicate matter, but one that had made her proud of the trust her captain had placed in her. It was while delivering such cargo in the underworld that she met the mysterious character that is the Mask. She quickly sympathized with him after he told her his story, which was quite close to Lizzy's own life, although she did not share hers with him, sticking to the official version of the fact. Her parents were dead, and she was living and working with her grand-uncle on the Bellem. Well, there she is, Lizzy Tanner. I hope you liked her as much as I do. If you want to stay a little bit in this universe, please listen to Sail With Me by The Cog Is Dead, which is her song, the song that inspired her. And I hope I see you next time. Please stay there. Like and subscribe first, if you like the video. But then I'll see you soon. Bye!